Welcome to Women at Halftime podcast for men and women at mid-career or the halftime of life with issues that concern you. Maximize your skills, resources, and experience to live an even more fulfilling and significant second half of life. Right here with me, Deborah Johnson, on Women at Halftime podcast.
Well, hello, Deborah Johnson here. It's my absolute pleasure to be back with you today for another wonderful show, podcast show, How to Develop Self-Accountability That Can Change Your Life. And this is really good timing because we are, as this airs, the first of another year. And self-accountability is a huge subject to be able to deal with. And that's what we will be talking about mostly today. A couple reminders for you. The summit, if you've not gotten your copy yet, if no one gave one to you for the holiday season, Christmas, get one for yourself, please. It comes in all versions. And also, if you've not picked up Women at Halftime, I've written 5 books. This is my 5th, The Allegory. This is an excellent book. Women at Halftime, it goes through the Hero Mountain, all of the steps of Hero Mountain. Both of them have wonderful reviews. Look at them for yourself. You can always look inside. You can listen to a little bit of the audiobook. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. It's one of my principles of self-accountability as well. So we're going to kind of dive right into this subject today. And I'm going to give you kind of 5 main points around this to help us, to guide us through this of our own self-accountability. It's a much searched term online, and people are looking for that. And what does it mean? Well, self-accountability, it's a relationship you have with yourself. Now, no one really wants others to tell them how to run their life, right? I mean, you don't want other people telling you what to do all the time. But if you're a parent, you have guided your children through the years of training and hopefully developing within them a sense of their own self-accountability. That's the goal. And if you're married, you realize all too well how it doesn't work to set goals for your spouse, right? You can encourage them in their own self-accountability, but expecting them to rise to a certain level of your expectations, that doesn't work too well, does it? Now, I have a little illustration for this. One of the conflicts that my husband, Greg, and I had were about expectations, especially when we first got married. My father did most everything around the house that needed fixing. He was great at this. And Greg grew up with a father that couldn't turn a screwdriver the right way. And he didn't get that fix-it gene. And he thought I was expecting him to do everything that my dad did. I really didn't, but he felt that way, and it didn't work really well until we were able to effectively communicate through this issue. So there's a number of ways we can apply this today. And self-accountability, it starts with looking at our own life first. And you want to look at your core values. I have a free download on the article. Every single podcast I put out, there's an article with it. Get the free download. What are the essential core values in your life? Well, after you take the time to define those values, they will serve as a guide on which you can make other decisions and choices. And those choices are especially relevant in how you spend your time, how you spend your money, and your energy. I want to start here with the importance of routine. This is very important, especially as we start a new year. A routine that is in sync with your core values is essential for productivity and eventual success. And I don't put myself anywhere equal with Bob Iger, who was CEO of Disney, but he has a morning routine similar to the one I keep. His morning routine, get this, it starts by getting up at 4:15 a.m. and not looking at his phone until after his workout. And he learned early on that a healthy lifestyle could ultimately save his life. So that's why he works out. And he holds to the mantra that the early bird gets the worm. Now, I do get up very early in the morning. And as we look at this self-accountability, I get up usually a little after 4 and I work out. Now, I do look at my phone, but I only look at the recent emergency emails or a text that may have come from one of our sons across the country. And then I put it away because I don't want to look at any news or anything that will distract me from getting a little work done, or my devotional and my journaling time and my exercise time. I want to be able to enjoy those times together with myself. That's my own self-accountability. So I want to be able to focus on those times. So again, that is part of my self-accountability. I know it sounds early, but again, I wake up. So why am I just going to lay there? I end up going to bed early enough that I can get a good night's sleep. And some people need more sleep than others. I realize that. That's okay. So, but this works for me. Again, the routine is most important in developing your own sense of your self-accountability. Okay, so let's go back to Bob Iger. He was CEO of Disney from 2005 until 2020, and he was the driving force behind acquiring Pixar in 2006, Marvel Entertainment in 2009, Lucasfilm in 2012, and 21st Century Fox in 2019. Wow, quite an accomplishment. Well, when looking back at his life, he writes about first starting out performing these menial labor tasks and how he rose through the ranks of television production. And in his book, which is very worth reading, by the way, I read constantly, I've read this as well, The Ride of a Lifetime, he states 5 career lessons he learned from working at Disney. And I'm going to use his principles really as a springboard for creating my own 5 steps to self-accountability. And I think they will all work very well in some way for you. Number 1, pursue perfection, but not perfectionism. Ooh, that's a good one. Perfectionism is the enemy of getting a project done. Most of us know this fact as a principle, but we still find ourselves trying to be perfect with most every project we attempt. An attitude of perfectionism, it caused some very talented students of a local piano teacher I know to miss an important competition deadline. Why was this? Well, they were to submit a video of their piece, of them playing their piece, but they were trying to make it perfect, which was a misnomer. You see, they recorded it a number of times over and over and over and lost track of time. And the recording they could have submitted that was extremely good and may have actually even won, they missed their chance. It was already perfect for what was needed. And they had no chance of placing in the competition because, unfortunately, they didn't even submit to be in the running. Now, this happens over and over and over again. I want to talk here for a moment here about this relating to technology. Many people get stuck in perfectionism. And I've decided not to do that, even though I'm kind of a techie at heart. But I've had to really up my game in technology in a lot of different ways, especially going through this year of lockdowns. I wanted to be able to use visuals in what I was doing. Sometimes I use, even with this sort of setup, I'll add PowerPoint and I've added some music as well, some live music. And I'm experimenting with that a little bit because it's very, very tricky to be able to mic an acoustic instrument when you're all by yourself and you have just your own little setup. But I've decided not to focus on perfectionism, that sometimes things are good enough. I put it out and then I decide I'm going to grow from there. I put out something else and it's better. And then I grow from there. So you have to realize that you've got to go through the ranks of doing this sometimes to get better and not to be so stuck on perfectionism. I have known those who've gotten major record deals, major, and never put out the album because they kept working on it. It just was never good enough. Don't let that happen to you in some ways. You want to make it good. You want to make it the best that you can do. Don't do the shortcuts that way. But eventually put it out so you're not missing out on that competition. And that's part of the self-accountability that you have to be willing to go on. And one of the ways to achieve that sort of perfection that you want in your life is to get the right type of help to get you where the place you want to be. This is very important. It's why there are book editors, coaches, and trainers for most every field. I hired 2 editors on my last book. And the willingness to work with a person or a program that will get you to the place you desire to be is vital. You not only need to hire them, but then to listen. It's very important to do that. Some people, they got people on their team, but they don't listen. Okay, so let's move on. Problems, this is number 2, create a chance for new solutions. Ooh, that's a good one. Getting over or getting through problems, it takes a mindset that is ready to work and work hard. Sir Ken Robinson, who wrote the book, The Element, he contracted polio at the age of 4, and he found himself completely paralyzed. His father had him pegged to pursue an athletic career as a soccer player. He grew up with soccer players. But Ken was sent to a special school after 8 months in a hospital due to the physical effects of the disease. He recovered, but still limps on one leg. There was no way that he was going to be a soccer player. Ken found himself, after all of that, pursuing education. And he ended up making major inroads in using creativity in education, eventually achieving his PhD and presenting the most watched TED Talk in history with over 72 million views. Watch it. It's wonderful. His emphasis was on how schools kill creativity. And he used what could have been a disaster to channel his abilities and his passion to change our education system. If there is seemingly a roadblock in your life, it may be just what is needed to steer you to another path that will not only be fulfilling, but impactful. So many who are at the mid-career or the halftime of their life, they're finding themselves bored and wanting to do something else, anything else almost. Well, if that's you, take a good look at what's driving that boredom and find a way around it. Maybe taking the risk to expand on what you're doing now. Robinson said in his book, if you're not prepared to be wrong, you'll never come up with anything original. So it's going to take a few little risks, maybe to do something else or to expand. I really encourage you to expand. It's what I've done in my career with speaking. Let's move on. 3, optimism is oxygen for self-leadership and accountability. You want to create a system where you can journal and reflect. And in our crazy busy world, it's no easy task. It's very important to be honest with yourself about what is going on in your life. I had a diary when I was in my young teens. And I wrote in my diary so often, and I always made sure I locked it up every single day. Oh, heaven forbid anyone would see it. And as I go back now, I still kept it and read what I wrote. I laugh because I usually only wrote about what outfit I was going to wear that day. And that's it. But that was all. But I thought it was so private. And there are times when we feel like our musings are so private or even insignificant. And we don't want others to read our thoughts. But as words flow out of your thoughts onto the page, many thoughts become clearer, even for your next moves. And as you take time to reflect, what may have seemed like a failure may be the very best thing that could have happened to you in the long run. And in fact, the book, The Summit, we talk about how important journaling is, the character journals. A positive can-do attitude is a key element for self-leadership. Very important. Let's move on. Number 4, get over yourself. You are but a speck in the universe. Oh, this is encouraging. Whether a boss over a huge team of workers or a solopreneur, you are one of 7.9 billion people in the world as of today. If you look through a powerful telescope, you will find that Saturn is 9 times as large as the Earth. This means the Earth would be the size of a nickel and Saturn the size of a volleyball. The Sun is 109 times larger than the Earth. And all of this are part of the Milky Way galaxy. Okay, so let's go out a little bit more. The Milky Way galaxy is just one of the billion galaxies in the universe. Well, the exact size of the universe is unknown. So don't let this discourage you. Developing a system of self-accountability where we can live our best and most meaningful life within such a vast universe, it becomes even more significant. It's all a matter of perspective. Our little world is significant to us and to those who we are able to impact. And that becomes most important in living our best and most meaningful life. Wow, that's very, very impactful. Number 5, get beyond your fear and just go for it. Have you ever set a goal or made a resolution and found yourself in the same place a month or 6 months or even a year later? Most people have. One of the most difficult steps to making a dream happen is actually starting. Nike launched the Just Do It campaign in 1988. It came upon some controversy in 2018 as it celebrated its 30th anniversary, but it was still highly effective as it was associated universally and personally. Just do it. Studies show that only 8% of Americans who make New Year's resolutions actually keep them all year, and 80% have failed by the start of February. Oh, how encouraging. You might be one of them. Clinical psychologist Joseph J. Luciani, PhD, says most resolutions fail due to sabotage caused by lack of self-discipline. Well, one of the secrets of achieving your goals is to enhance your self-discipline by creating tiny habits. You want to see my article on tiny habits and the interview that I did with Linda Fogg Phillips. We just did that the previous month, so look that up. Creating very small steps and following through is a great system of self-accountability that's truly powerful enough to change your life. You can apply those. Now, none of these 5 steps will do you any good if you don't take action. Start very, very small, whether you're putting out a new routine together or making a change in your life, or you're expanding what you're doing presently. A runner will never get to the finish line without starting the race, and you won't either. And I really, really want you to live your best life, fulfilled, fruitful, and with great fun. So let's review all 5 of these steps. First of all, put my little note here. Wow, pursue perfection, not perfectionism. Very important. Number 2, problems create a chance for new solutions. Yeah, think about that. Number 3, optimism is oxygen for self-leadership and accountability. Number 4, get over yourself. You are but a speck in the universe. Very, very encouraging, isn't that? But number 5, get beyond your fear and go for it. Those are great principles to apply for your year. Make sure you tune in next week because Greg is with me and we are going to be talking about setting goals as a couple. Does it work? And why do it? So we're going to have a great conversation. You will love to be able to listen in next week. And we always do it on video as well. He's very handsome, so make sure that you do that. Again, pick up a copy of the summit. Click in on my newsletter as well. And with this article, make sure you sign up to get the weekly incoming on your email. That's what I'm trying to say. That it will come in your inbox every single week and right to you. You can unsubscribe anytime, but you can get there by goalsforyourlife.com/newsletters. So, and listen, subscribe, follow, and share womenathalftime.com. That's where this is hosted. And just love being with you with this great little message of how to develop self-accountability that can truly change your life. I love being able to present these to you every single week. Deborah Johnson, and we will look forward to being with you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us. It is because of our wonderful listeners like you that we keep going strong week after week. Share and follow us for new shows to inspire you and encourage you in your life's journey. You can find all of our articles and links at womenathalftime.com.